If Christ was standing in flesh right now, I'd give him a tangerine.
But don't keep me out of Garden Eden.
You are the garden, bro.
I am the garden.
Losing your mind, you find it. You find that you have it all. You trust that every illness, every wound comes from trauma, and that consciousness is complete. And so are you. And these words and these labels, like, no, bro, you're not that label.
Yeah.
You're not that word, you're not that wound. You know, you're free.
Because if you're in a non-dual state of consciousness, you know that every flower is unique. Nature does not label and say, this is that, this is that. That's us labeling from a place of fear because we want to protect ourselves.
Love is the medicine, you know?
Yeah. We are infinite intelligence. We are literal manifestations of cosmic consciousness that is limitless. How do we build a world that reflects that infinite cosmic beauty?
Hey, what's going on, fam? John Das here with another episode of Regenera. We took a bit of a break after Christmas and the New Year, and I'm so incredibly grateful to release an episode with me and my dear brother, Luke Ram. Usually I give a short introduction and let the content speak for itself. But today I wanted to step back and provide a little bit of context about the conversation that we're having, what this means for the broader world, and share a little bit about my personal journey in the context of regeneration, climate change, biodiversity collapse, and our role within it. Now, in today's conversation, you'll notice that Luke and I have this playful, almost childlike spirit. We're two young white men who've come from the Western world with an enormous amount of privilege. And that privilege has given us opportunities to be able to see the world, to be able to experiment with different modalities. And now we have this sense deep within us that it is our job to serve and to be in service specifically for the wisdom keepers of the world, the indigenous leaders who know how to cultivate balance and harmony, and the different traditions who understand how to create a deep connection to source within the flesh through breath, meditation, body work, yoga, etc. As we begin speaking, you'll notice that we're using a wide range of language, almost creating a mandala of consciousness, including Muslim, Sufi, mystic traditions, Christian traditions, Kabbalistic concepts, Vedic concepts, and also working with psychedelics. Now, we run the risk of performing what many people call cultural appropriation. This obviously is not our intention to extract concepts without understanding the cultural and historical context from which they arose. It is more of a playful exercise of looking at what all humanity has in forms of tools, in forms of ideologies and methodologies to help awaken the human connection to the divine intelligence within and around us for the liberation of all sentient beings. This isn't about Luke or myself at the end of the day. This is an intimate conversation with two brothers who are walking on a path, trying to understand what our unique role is in this unfolding symphony of regeneration. So no matter what background you come from, whether you have practiced Sufi or whether you're a die-hard conservative Christian or a staunch atheist, it doesn't really matter. The invitation is to explore how becoming an architect of consciousness, to really look at the mind as technology, can allow us to access new tools and new leverage points to enact positive systemic change for generations to come. You might not be familiar with some of the terms or some of the concepts, and you might even feel triggered by some of the notions. I assure you this, that this spirit comes from a place of love, comes from a place of a desire to serve and to support. And we do not have all the answers, but we are doing our best to enjoy this journey of being human, of understanding our role and the crises that we face and the challenges that are presenting themselves in our world, and also how we can contribute using our unique gifts. If you feel resonance along this path, or even if you feel dissonance and you have something that you want to offer in terms of feedback, we would absolutely love to hear from you. We're moving from Regenera just being a show to being a community of global activists all around the world who understand the power of indigenous wisdom and the urgency of this time that we need to come together. We need to overcome our boundaries. The illusion of separation is of the mind, and we need to find ways to support each other for the regeneration of our planet. But it doesn't just stop there, because there is systemic injustice baked into the fabric of our society, into our legal structures, into our monetary policy, education, you name it. So it has to be a balance between the ecological regeneration of the earth and the societal regeneration of our structures, our organizations, our communities, our churches, our schools, and our places of work and worship. So without further ado, I introduce this conversation to you as a humble offering and a gift, as one soul walking along a path, trying to find my unique purpose and offer it with love to the world. Hopefully you enjoy the show. Please do join our community at just $11 a month. You can join a small network of pioneering leaders who've gone all into this vision of the new earth, get access to exclusive retreats, including our upcoming Rebirth pilgrimage experience between Turkey and Greece from September 27th to October 10th, and a whole host of exciting opportunities to connect with indigenous tribes all over the world and really begin to decolonize our mind collectively as a community with support of the most powerful tools, medicines, and methodologies that the world has to offer today. Stay tuned and check out www.pilgrimage.love for an exciting introduction to the work that we are scaling in this place here today with the help of tribes like the Huniquin, the Kugaba Nation, the Arhuacos. We cannot wait to see what Source has to unfold for all of us. Peace. What's coming through, bro, the top of mind for you about this journey we've just been through?
I just thought about Carl in that moment.
Yeah.
And my big appreciation for him fully opening his heart. You know, he was next to me in the Heart Protocol journey.
Yeah.
And he was like, let's bring this to life. I'm all in with you guys.
Amazing.
We will have hyperhumanism spread around the world.
Yeah.
And this is super important for us. Like,
Totally.
It's really beautiful.
I think one of the things that broke through for me in being with Carl is just this whole idea of different substances and different elements unlocking different aspects of human potential.
Yes.
And that when we develop a more subtle and finite way of experiencing ourselves as consciousness, it opens portals, it opens possibilities. It changes the way we perceive ourselves and the way that we perceive the world.
Exactly.
And like everything from the Shakti mat to, you know, the Ormus to the structured water, like, yeah, it was a gift, man. So thanks for bringing him through.
Yeah. We have all the tools in the world. We have been now in an evolutionary process where for thousands of years, you and me have been in different timelines, in different centuries, in different lands on this earth. And we have worked on the same thing. And we have created treasures, be it breathwork techniques, be it architecture, be it sacred sounds, be it tinctures, plant medicines. All these different modalities, they are for right here, for right now.
Yeah, and they're all coming together.
Exactly, and we develop now this metacognition where we learn when to apply what for the greatest healing of the planet.
And that's why I love the idea of developing different protocols. The heart protocol is obviously one. We have shared dreaming.
Yes.
And developing an entire portfolio of experiences that unlock different parts of the human potential.
Yes.
And that are safe and are held and effective and maintaining that sacred container, you know, working with the elements, working with pure consciousness, inviting in the councils, and drawing people home, you know. And I think one of the breakthrough moments for me, which was so interesting, is yesterday when Leo was, you know, young kid, decides to do acid on his own. None of us are aware of it. I come back from surfing, he's having a bad trip. And it like, for 2 hours, he just couldn't get out of it. But as soon as I put on the Anuhasi, he suddenly came to life. And then he's reading Yogananda, and now he's in it right now. Reading about the second coming of Christ through Yogananda.
You see that? This is going to multiply by thousands. So many, the next generation, they will all immerse themselves with these ancient texts.
Totally.
Because they seek meaning.
And they feel it.
They don't want to buy into this old system, these beliefs of who you should be, what you have to do. They have their contact with the divine deep inside. They cannot just eradicate these experiences. And then they're like, okay, well, how do we build a world that reflects that infinite cosmic beauty that I witness within myself?
Where I belong.
Where I belong.
Because none of these kids belong in this matrix. They hate it.
They hate
the matrix doesn't serve them.
Yes.
It's torturing, you know? And like, I think the way you were describing to Bashir, a little 10-year-old lad, you know, the game of the new earth, like Minecraft.
Yes.
I love this, you know, that we can make it a game, that consciousness can be a game, to be enjoyed, to be experienced, to be played.
Absolutely. Yeah, Lila, divine play.
Divine play, yeah. Lila. Wow, bro. And it all had to happen on this land.
Yes.
You know, it couldn't have happened at TDF. Like, how interesting is that? That we tried to create a route at TDF, and it wasn't the right place. It wasn't the right people, you know? And then suddenly we come through to Portugal, and we walk straight through.
Yeah, every place has its purpose, I think. And there are different places that's two different kind of work.
Exactly.
And Portugal has it in the name, you know. It's
Yeah,
a
the
place
Holy Grail.
for breaking through to the Holy Grail, to unconditional love.
Yeah.
And other regenerative villages have more focus on
Ecological
regeneration, the
Totally.
technology aspect. And that's also beautiful. Like, there are many homes for us, and I think we also co-create the homes,
Mm-hmm.
you know, as we go there. We bring in our gifts,
But it's interesting to
create
see
the culture.
like which places want to receive the gifts, you know? Because what I've noticed is it's a choice. People choose to resonate with unconditional love or not. And for some people, it's a trigger.
Yeah, for sure.
It actually is a trigger for some people, you know?
For sure.
And so it's becoming a really interesting insight to me. Like, it reminds me of when Jesus the Nazarene sent out the disciples in 2 by 2, and he said, carry nothing but the cloaks on your back and the sandals on your feet. If a village doesn't welcome you, brush the dust off your feet and go on to the next one.
It's true.
No
That's
pressure.
what they said. Right?
That's what I'm saying.
Really?
It's the same
I
thing.
remember it from
Yes,
the Bible.
it's the same thing. And so it's like no force and source. We just flow.
Yeah.
Wherever consciousness calls us to go, we go.
Yeah.
Wherever the love and light, unconditional presence of the I Am drops us in, we go.
Yeah.
And if it isn't resonating, it isn't in flow, we move on. Keep flowing.
Absolutely. Yeah. One thing that I think we touched upon before that I would like to add something, because it's really something that I observe in you, in us, in this whole culture that we create. It's this delicate balance between the yin and yang, where you have on the masculine side the protocols that are reliable pathways to higher consciousness, to embodied divine being on this earth. The more healthy, harmonious and healed planet.
Yeah.
And they are specific combinations, alchemical formulas that work for almost everyone.
Yeah.
That can still be adopted through, you can call it not precision medicine, but precision enlightenment facilitation. They are adjusted to the individual, to the hero that is working with them.
Yeah.
However, we still find this full surrender into the eternal now, to the holy now. And when I observe you, you know, you're like a lucid instrument for divine creativity, and you follow protocols, you provide protocols for people, but also you allow the spontaneous intelligence of the present to live through your body, mind, spirit. And as we learn to do both of that, where we have for the masses reliable pathways, that those that are not so neurodivergent can just follow and absolutely upgrade their experience of reality, but also teach this new art that is actually not new. It's the Tao, it's
the
flowing,
ascension.
it's the ascension, it's flowing with the present moment of life. When we learn to be fully with that Tao and allow that divine creativity to channel through us, that's also something that the world has not seen, and that now Hollywood stars or movie stars, songwriters,
They're all going to want it.
they all gonna want it.
Limitless.
You know?
It's the limitless drug.
Pill.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it literally is. And I think that's what I'm so excited in working with Carl and going to these, you know, sacred sites, is just experimenting and playing. And I'm no longer afraid of my mind.
Yeah.
You know, like my ex-wife and my family, like they wanted me to be afraid of my mind. They were terrified that I'd lose it. But in losing your mind, you find it. You find that you have it all, you know? And I think it's this really interesting pathway of like, you know, when I first separated with my wife, she was convinced I was bipolar. She was convinced I had serious mental health issues. And I like really received her projections and her fears. And I really took them on, and I went and saw a psychiatrist and got an evaluation. He was like, look, it's not clinical, clear, black and white. There's signs of this, there's signs of that, you know, patterns of addiction, usage of substance. My recommendation is like, you know, drink a glass of wine every now and then, smoke a joint every now and then, but don't ever do drugs again. And I was like, any kind of drugs? All kinds of drugs? He was like, well, definitely not cocaine. I was like, all right. He's like, and preferably not MDMA, anything that messes with your dopamine levels. And I really sat with this and was just like, okay, what path do I walk? But I remember a night later, I did breath work, just really trying to move through. And I had this very clear calling to go to sacred sites and to activate these sacred sites.
Yeah.
And to go deep into the medicine. And so I was just like, what is this? if in my deepest state of holotropic breath work, breathing for an hour, this is coming through, what does it mean? I'm gonna trust that voice.
Absolutely.
I'm just gonna trust it. And I talked to Dr. Sam and he was like, bro, trust it.
Trust.
Like this whole diagnostic manual is just a realm of probabilities, mental conditions that fit us to, a certain range of diagnostic criteria. And like, I trust that every illness, every wound comes from trauma.
Yeah.
And that consciousness is complete. And so
Yeah.
are you. And don't be afraid of your mind. And it was just like such a breakthrough now because I feel we can enter this state fearlessly,
Yeah.
responsibly,
Yeah.
and help other people walk through their fears, their traumas. Because, you see these other guys, they're carrying these like mental health disorders and these words and these labels. Like, no, bro, you're not that label.
Yeah.
You're not that word. You're not that wound. You're free.
You're free. Remember your king essence.
Yeah, remember you're king. You're a warrior.
Wow. Yeah, and you touch upon a deep topic there that I think the indigenous wisdom that we surround ourselves with and have surrounded ourselves with through many, many lifetimes
Yeah.
knew different. Because if you're in a non-dual state of consciousness, you know that every flower, every plant in the forest is different, is unique.
Yeah.
And nature does not label and say, this is that, this is that, this is that. And this
Yeah.
has this disorder, this is this mental health
That's
issue.
us. We label.
No, that's us labeling from a place of fear because we want to protect ourselves.
Yeah.
Instead of going in there like bodhisattva and, seeing things as they are
Yeah.
and then just having healing energy.
Yeah.
And for some, it's a mental health disorder and we cannot change their perception of things. That's their reality, their dream.
Yeah.
But they don't see the army of ancestors behind us that
Yeah.
call us
Totally.
and that are cheering us on because we take the courage, the valor to go to the sacred sites and activate their wisdom and carry it in our hearts and teach the next generation of children about their timeless principles of reciprocity,
Totally. Giving, humbling ourselves before the earth,
listening
connecting with
to
our
nature.
ancestors. Yeah.
Yes.
The medicine doesn't call everyone, but I really feel like, man, she's calling a lot of people.
Yeah.
Don't be afraid. Love is the medicine,
Yeah.
It's got a lot of forms. Oh, but I'm tired though, bro. It's been a sprint, mate. from September 17th.
Wow, we again all in. Like, it's also good, to take a day, calming down.
No, of course.
It's funny because for me, the opportunity that you provided to also lead the retreat as a co-host in the first half of the week was major.
Yeah.
Because this king energy, the divine king, is all about service.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
It's all about looking at the people around you, tuning into their hearts, their bodies to feel, okay, what is their physical situation, what's their emotional state, what do their minds speak, and then learning to create the environment where we can flourish, where we can blossom, have a delicate balance between being so present with your people, with your tribe, that you understand what is here now, and then giving them, based on what is in their hearts now, the exact modality and technique and process that they need.
Yes.
But also having a structure that you go through, that it seems coherent, that it feels coherent, that it feels like, hey, we are on a path, this is another milestone.
Yep, it's a rite of passage.
It's a rite of passage. So to learn to work with both of these elements, I think that's what makes a great facilitator.
Yes, yes. It's similar to what you were saying about the masculine and feminine with the spiritual path. The masculine provides the ground of being, the openness, the presence, the structure. And then, the feminine has that fluidity, the sensing, the responding, the nurturing.
Yes.
And I think that's what New Earth leadership's really asking us all to do, is be like nature.
Yes.
Be the nature that we are.
Exactly.
Be the balance of all of our parts. Welcome
Yeah.
it all home. Don't keep any of it outside.
Yeah.
Bring it all in.
And upon that, the clear insight from this whole week of having a New Earth leadership retreat with you is that what we want to create is not just another generation of consumers. Not even consumers of spiritual enlightenment, spiritual modalities, but we want to create this intelligence co-creators. We want to invite environments that work in symbiosis, right?
Yeah.
And the mission right now is to build a whole army of New Earth leaders, of
Yeah.
New Earth ambassadors,
Yeah.
people
Yeah.
that just go through the world and meet every heart that they touch,
Open.
transformed, opened,
Love.
you know. But it's
Everywhere.
not only the right hemisphere, it's
Yeah.
also the left hemisphere, it's also intelligence, it's also actual systemic
Build.
solutions,
Build.
building. And it seems like, wow, it's this moment. Finally, there are people that believe we can still change the narrative of our century.
Yeah.
And if it's true, and we know it's true because we have experienced it,
Yeah.
that we are infinite intelligence, we are literal manifestations of cosmic consciousness that is limitless,
Wow.
then celestial beings like you and me that have this humble human form right now can absolutely change the narrative of our time.
Yeah. Agreed.
You know,
So agree.
and let's wake up more and more people to step into their power.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. And I think this is where I'm so excited about releasing and refining the Ascension protocol.
Yeah.
Because even before I saw Carl's stuff, I was like, I want to build a 28-day lunar cycle of Ascension
Yes.
that goes from cleansing to ascending and grounding,
Yes.
using food as medicine, breathwork, meditation, ancient techniques, modern
Pranic
science,
initiation,
nootropics, ashwagandha.
Yes.
Yeah, and then pranic initiation is the next step.
This is next level.
But I think for me, like what I'm on now, this monthly cycle is just so much fun.
Yeah.
And you've seen me on 3 cycles now.
Incredible.
And like, what's it been like for you? Like, how have you seen me change from when we first met?
Wow. It's at the same time a gigantic softening of your heart and falling in love with all of life, but also surrendering fully to the intelligence of the present moment and being a vessel for this creativity.
Yeah.
I see you make every moment, every day with you is like an artwork in motion. So you're constantly making music. You're constantly being an amazing facilitator, coach. You're constantly taking care of the tribe. This is a whole new way of positioning yourself in the eyes of people, but also the divine. The Egyptians called it holding the mat. And that's being so much attuned at the present moment that you can be a selfless vessel for the right information to come through, to be like nectar for the hearts of the people. And that's the process we want to learn. We want to be in such super abundance that we can just give and offer this love, this love, intelligence, heart intelligence. And speaking about the cycles, there's this really interesting flow that we are pioneering right now that is also correlated, of course, with your Ascension protocol, that we move from celebration, really raising our Kundalini energy in total joy for all life, and gathering people, talking to people, networking, and just creating these massive vortexes of energy into retreat space where we go inside and we don't need anything, we just look and observe. It's like a kind of Vipassana monk mode. And then we go into creative mode and we have pop-up villages and we have output and we go into our entrepreneurship mode.
Yes.
And then we go
Active.
again in the cycle, and it's so balanced because it's almost like the seasons of the year, You have times where you rest, you have times where you celebrate, you have times where you create, and you have times where you learn.
And
it's really
it feels like it's not only creating a new language, us rebirthing Anuhazi and bringing it back into form, like Ben Gurion did in Hebrew. I don't know if you guys know this, but the story is wild. I want to give a tether to that in a second, but it feels like we're also creating a new culture, a new spiritual calendar.
Yes.
Where we're looking at, the Mayans, the Essenes, the Egyptians, the Vedics, like all of the different traditions, and creating a single mandala of consciousness and having inputs from all these fields. Like you're working with mushrooms, check out the Mayan calendar. What energy are you working with today? Are you working with Blue Lotus? See what's coming through the Egyptian charts, you know, and really honoring the original instruction of each of these medicines, and also whatever you're going through, the cycle of the moon, the cycle of your body, if you're a woman, like really tuning in and letting that guide you, because these are all guides. I think one of the things I got really, really excited about was hearing in your heart protocol journey in the cave in Duarit, we need to birth a new language.
Yes.
A new language for New Earth. It really stuck with me. And then sitting
And
here in
then
this dome yesterday during the
you break
integration,
through, bro.
and I just, boom, wow. I saw it. I saw how we do it. And it's like, it's going to be such a joy, such an honor. Little Starlink on the wedding tent, tables out, a whole crew of AI guys just going ham and recreating a language from scratch, using all the different pieces and parts, and basically assembling a Rosetta Stone for Anuhazi.
Yes, a Rosetta Stone for Anuhazi.
Yeah.
That's what
Open source.
Yes.
Let's go.
Whew.
Man.
It's such a powerful technology. We have no idea how language codes our reality.
Yeah. Spells,
If you have a whole group of people, a new Earth civilization that speaks a language that opens everyone's heart, you create this huge magnetic field that basically allows a higher thought frequency to enter.
Yep.
And thought frequency is energy that creates matter.
And what's the Tibetan word for thought forms? You used to tell me.
Tulpa.
Tulpa.
Oh, this is another thing. This is like kind of egregores, you can think, but they meditated collectively on a higher self. And then this thought form that they meditated upon became a living being in the ether, in the Akashic, which they could then channel. So that they created their own deities that had different virtues and qualities that they knew were most in harmony and favor with life, with wholesome principles. And then they did something called deity yoga, which is basically clearing, having an ego death, clearing your mind fully, and then channeling the thought form that was created by the entire civilization.
Dope, bro. It's kind of like a shamanic path, but you're actually constructing the form.
Yes.
Before inviting it in.
Absolutely.
And I think, dude, this is going to be
and this is what we do with the shared dreaming on the pilgrimage, bro.
Yes.
Oh my God.
Tell me, go.
So when you have all these thousands of people coming together, having shared dreaming, recording that, and we understand, okay, also it's connected to the gene keys, of course, we kind of understand these are the new dreams, principles, values, virtues of the new earth. This is our coding language of how we can honor life, and we can create a holy world, a divine life on earth. Then we, based on all of that material, we have the foundation for the culture, and we can then meditate on these visions until they are reality.
Totally. And it's like, okay, some people say we made God up, right?
Yeah.
Great. God made us up. Let's make it up too.
Yes.
If we are really the creator of heaven and earth, let's make new heavens.
Yes.
Let's make new temples.
Yes.
Let's make new rooms.
We are the infinite creator.
So why can't we create new deity forms? Why can't we create new constellations of consciousness to bring in change in humanity like we need it? If we have a Luna the spark, we got Shiva the flame. Let's combine. Let's look at what happens when a Luna and Krishna have babies. Let's combine the wisdom of the Kogis with the wisdom of the Vedics. Let's combine the Anahata bliss with the Marakami Theotenes, you know?
This is so powerful.
This is what Source wants us to do, bro.
Of course.
Is make divine conscious babies.
Yes. That's what was happening in the 21st century. We live in this world of globalization. We live in this world where information can travel freely. We have access to all these different ancient texts around the world.
Totally.
And now the party starts. Sam says the same thing. This divination is a gigantic party.
Yeah, you know? It's literally.
So when you go to one of our New Earth festivals, you see a pharaoh dancing next to a Chinese emperor, and then you see a samurai coming around the corner, and then a kung fu master there. You know, it's like.
And then Genghis Khan walks in. Yo, that was crazy though. So this whole like king energy thing is hitting me for a trip. Like.
Yes. Oh, it's so important for the masculine.
Because there's a wounded masculine in the collective consciousness, right? That doesn't want to make commitment. That doesn't want to hold on to the lover. That doesn't want to be truly providing beloved. That doesn't want to be in service. That's just running around fulfilling its own needs, right? And it's like, I felt as though people were projecting this on me, and there was also still a bit of this in me, and I know I have to cleanse through, and there's like sexual trauma that I need to process. But it's this feeling, man, like we talked about, that there's actually a calling for those of us who are resonating on this crystalline 12-dimensional DNA to spread the seed with loving conscious awareness, but to make babies in villages all over the world and spread this genetics of pure consciousness. And it's like, For you and I, it might make sense, but I don't know, man. I can only imagine how the world will perceive this.
Yeah, it's definitely controversial, but also it goes hand in hand. I always say, before the queen or before the babies, there comes the king, from the perspective of the man, and for the woman, it's the other way.
Queen comes first.
Yes, exactly.
Inner alignment.
Inner king, inner queen comes first, and what we have as a sacred mission also to restore these mature masculine archetypes. Read the ancient texts of what it actually means to be a divine king.
Yeah.
You know, as an archetype. Then create a mystery school where we can learn and embody that, rewire our mind with this dignity and honor that we once held dear to our heart. And then from that place, naturally, we build the kingdoms together, these regenerative villages that will be havens for human and planetary flourishing. And when we have that, there will be the children.
Yes.
And this is a completely new royal pathway of embodying divine consciousness.
And it's not just about that bond and then the children being born, but how the children are conceived and how they're birthed into the world.
This was another lesson from the retreat.
Bro, this was a major breakthrough, honestly.
Wow.
Like that moment with Animo and Arena of really tuning into the calling to create life from two enlightened beings. It was such a moment, bro. And feeling the Kriya Yoga flow onto this Taoist multi-orgasmic bliss, understanding the role of the Anahata and creating Christ consciousness in flesh.
Yes.
And knowing, guys, that we need to build birthing centers, new earth birthing centers.
Education around.
New earth birthing centers with doulas and midwives, bro.
Yes.
But not only just for the birth, we also need places for people to die.
Yes.
We need death doulas. We need the elders here. We need to get them out of the pharmaceutical cocktails of fucking oblivion and bring them to these villages where they can be cared for and loved for by their descendants.
Yeah.
You know, and I think as soon as we start modeling this, where we've got elders with us, we've got children with us, we've got people with special needs, we've got homeless arriving, we've got refugees on site, all integrating as one family, all breathing that breath of life, all bathing in the river every day, cleansing beneath the Great Mother, beneath the Great Father. It's like, this is gonna be a revolution, bro.
Yeah,
it already is.
And honestly, the sacred texts of old that understood timeless principles, if you give an AI language model, large language model, a reference to those texts, but also all the modern and cutting edge, state of the art information that we have about human flourishing, our psyche and systems that are wholesome, the AI will empower us in all of that work. These centers that we create, these new Jerusalems, these heavens on earth, where we look upon each and every soul that comes in and their constitution, their body, mind, spirit, their state, the AI will help us, like with hyperhumanism, to find exactly the right individual path to bring a homeless person into a new earth superhero in 2 weeks, in 21 days. We will have literal programs, ascension programs.
For anybody from any state through. And we tailor the protocol according to their needs, their mental health issues, their addiction patterns, their trauma cycles. You know, and we develop a personalized protocol. But it's like this interesting thing where there's the artificial intelligence, which is outside of us, so to speak. And then there's the internal angelic intelligence that is channeling through us. And I feel like it's a sort of similar yin and yang dichotomy where we use both.
We use both.
You know, we use the external to almost double check our thinking and have a witness and an editor for our flow of consciousness to bring things outside the known, to break that unknown boundary and like pop us into new states of awareness. But then in the moment we tune in. We have to tune in the moment of delivery.
And trust the divine flow of creativity.
It's the same source.
Yes,
same source of information, but the difference is we're listening with our soul. Versus listening with our eyes and our ears. And the soul is, you know, is the key.
Carl mentioned it, like it's another abstraction in a way. You know, the more language barriers you create, the more abstraction you are from the source, right? But on the other hand, it's also an expression of love, you know.
Wow.
Wow, it's so nice. Listening to this, it's like relaxing the body, the nervous system. A person from the city, if they would just listen to the tree,
Yeah.
Complete calm down.
Sleeping by a stream as opposed to sleeping by a road. Come on, bro. Literally, there are studies that show people who live in cities have much higher cortisol and adrenaline levels through their sleep.
Yeah.
It affects everything. It affects your telomeres. It affects your entire cellular function. When you have stress hormones running through your system,
Yeah.
you're a different being. And it's funny because the whole matrix of society right now is based upon that neurochemistry of stress and scarcity and urgency.
Yeah.
And it's just wild to witness the switch of like, okay guys, what if we just for like a month swapped caffeine with San Pedro?
Yeah.
What if for a month we swapped beer and wine with Amanita and Silicide Helene? What if we just switched? What if we stopped demonizing these things? We do it in the right dose range, we do it responsibly, and we mix it up. We don't keep walking through the same doorways. We don't do it every day. You know, you do it properly. If you're gonna microdose, you do it every other day. You know, like, you do it responsibly. But I just feel like, man, this is what the world needs.
Yeah.
We need to replace all these things that are scarcity based, that are capitalist driven, with stuff that actually serves the human heart.
It's so needed. And obviously, even the world leaders, they understand right now when you look at climate crisis, you look at all these meta problems that we have in the meta crisis.
Political collapse.
It's
huge.
It's not the same approach that created the problems that will lead us out of it.
Totally new approach.
It's a new way of being, a new way of thinking, a new way of acting, being with each other. That is the only way.
When they taste it,
they know it.
And there's no going back.
And
it tastes too good.
And that gives me it tastes too good. It's because it's also supreme pleasure, but also it's a pivotal time in human history. You know.
Yeah.
It's a lot is on the line. Life on Earth is on the line.
Totally.
Know? And the leaders know that.
Yeah.
And I think this opens up also an opportunity for us to go beyond this suppression where they try to keep us down, you know, and they try to keep pioneers that had different approaches down, into actually giving us the space when we can logically, scientifically explain what we are doing and why it is intelligent.
Yeah.
That these leaders will be like, wait a second, maybe we just, you know, give them an island there to test out their hypothesis, like they do with Carl and the DMTX project.
Yeah, and also ecology and
anthropology, and then slowly they're like, well, maybe these guys are not crazy after all.
It works.
You know? Maybe it works, and we have the science, we have the technology to prove that it works.
Oh, dude, and honestly, now that the Trump administration and all the Republicans are into crypto, the whole thing's done. Like, and people don't get this, right? Like, all of the leftists, all of the hippies, all of the crunchies don't like the Republican Party. I get it. I understand. But imagine this. Imagine having a funnel, like at the bottom of a tub when you let the water out. All of the capital of the entire planet will drain into crypto over the next 10 years. All of it is going on chain.
Yes.
What happens when all that capital goes on chain? It gets decentralized. Why? Because the culture, the mycelium of crypto has a specific set of values. That set of values is decentralization. We have to build systems that minimize the amount of trust we have to have in people. So therefore, we need algorithms and rules and codified obligations between different parties. And it's just like, it's over at this point, because once we start dropping people in, smart contract engineers, into the hard protocol, it's done.
It's done.
Because what politicians don't realize is as capital flows through into crypto infrastructure, all the politicians are going to be worthless. All of the existing power structures are going to be worthless because it's all going to go on chain.
Yeah.
And the new governance models are going to be on chain. They don't get it. They have no clue. And I think the left like sees the threat and the danger, and the right's like, let's go. Let's play the game. It's a capital game. Let's play. And once we realize that capital is consciousness, that consciousness is capital, and we can start to design our monetary systems with unity consciousness in mind,
Sacred economics.
Sacred economics woven into the fabric of our monetary supply, unique capital currency structures in every village, in every part of the earth, woven together with a bioregional infrastructure that takes care of the planet.
It will change the architecture, the culture, the music, it will change everything. And guess what? Even there, when you have decentralized currency, it is always backed on what real world value you can provide.
Yeah.
So if you have a currency that is basically backed by the premise, hey, we will bring unity consciousness to humanity and we will regenerate all ecosystems of the world.
Yeah.
And we will not stop on this mission until it is done.
Totally.
And we will invoke millions of people. We'll have a people base of genius talent all around the world, but unlock also the dormant potential of all the people that do not yet know their superpower. Then we back it by this divine intention that we have, this mission, this dharma that we are on, but also all the incredible people that have this deep pull from the depth of their heart, that they want to be part of that ultimate love story for Mother Gaia and God, infinite consciousness.
Best love story ever told, bro.
Best love story ever told.
Oh, so good.
Did you ever analyze like how Andrew Tate worked?
No, tell me.
You know, he's like, he basically changed the whole masculine landscape for a lot of young people by reintroducing kind of the warrior archetype and the king archetype, but not from a perspective of an integrated lover and an integrated magician. And he really went absolutely viral, most Googled man on the planet. And he created his stream of revenue mostly through his so-called Hustler University, which is an online platform where he teaches men or people in general how to build wealth online through different modalities online. Right?
Dope.
Like drop shipping, like crypto, AI, etc. And the way that he basically marketed it was he filmed himself, had a lot of content, streamed almost everything he filmed. And then he had inside of his course thousands of people that work with his material and create reels out of it.
Nice.
And then have these reels connected to affiliate links.
Nice.
Where people that see it online on TikTok or Instagram click on the link and then they basically get money.
Get a referral.
They get a referral
This
fee.
is a sick setup.
Right? In his case, it was just to get more people into kind of his hustling
Yeah,
university.
but we have to figure out how to do that model.
We have to figure out how to do that model. It works. It's the most successful model ever. He was, within a few months, the most viral man online. His values are very, you can argue a lot with that, but the model itself works.
Genius.
It's very smart. And so I think all of this new earth marketing machine, how Gaianet calls it, it's like this whole thing that we are basically building. We are not the creators of the network of networks. We are the ones that create the new culture and show how to play this game, how to interact and navigate with these different ecosystems.
And the network propagates around the culture.
Exactly. It's the highest game you can play. I thought the highest game is to create a network state, but the biggest social capital and spiritual capital
Culture
lies in the transformation of hearts and the change of behavior, like you say, And if you are the living, breathing example of a new earth leader, wholesome and holistically integrating the best practices of our species, then you pioneer this new way of being.
Yeah.
And culture shapes economics, politics,
Everything.
everything.
I'm gonna grab one of these oranges.
Let's
bro.
go get some orange. That's
Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyoyo Naham Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyoyo Naham Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyoyo Naham Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyoyo Naham Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyoyo Naham Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsavitur Vareniyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhyoyo Naham Prachodayat Om Bhurbhuvasvaha
Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimahi Dhyo yo na prachodaya Om Bhurbhuvasvaha Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo devasya dhimahi Dhyo yo na prachodaya. If Christ consciousness was standing in flesh right now, I'd give him a tangerine. But don't keep me out of Garden Eden.
You are the garden, bro.
I am the garden. Yeah, that's the shift, bro. Hey, real quick. We need to take a special break. A word from our sponsor. Episode has been brought to you by LOVE. It's free, available in stores everywhere. You don't have to pay for it. All you need is breath and consciousness. You are this. And if you want to become a paid subscriber to Regenera Plus, starting at $11 a month, I'll give you some LOVE right back. Thanks, guys. Back to the show. Let's go.
There are also, these whole codes of awakening
Yeah.
to stay in the non-dual state of consciousness all the time. And the ancients used mudras to bring down different virtues of CDs.
Okay.
Have to rewire your patterns of automatic behavior,
Okay.
being identified with the game character that you think you are, but you are not, right? And if you can have a code like a double blink, you look at someone and you do a double blink. In a whole culture, everyone does a double blink to remind, right now Christ is standing in front of me. This is an illusion. Then it's, or this.
So,
You
what are
rewire
you,
the
bro? What are you
brain.
talking about? You're saying I'm not John Das. What you trying to say, bro? Tell me in plain speak.
I think that we are playing the holy show, right? Holy
Okay.
fan show.
Okay.
And we choose a character in that game that is most serving the awakening of our species. But this is just the clothes that we are wearing. It's not our essence.
So this is illusion.
This is illusion.
Material nature is illusion.
Yes. But it's also should be sanctified. It's also to be held sacred, because it's also part of the same source. And in itself, infinite beauty.
Is it not all illusion then?
I mean, all things are illusion. The place that is not a thing is arguably essence, But
Place that is not a thing is essence.
But the thing is, the thing that is a thing is light, like
Yeah. Frequency.
there you have essence, emptiness, and the Buddha, was like, okay, how can I become one with that essence, nirvana? And by being one with that, you don't have to do anything. You kind of emanate light, divine light, nur.
It's interesting because Yogananda was talking about God the Father's vibrationlessness reflected and manifest in Christ's vibrational being.
Whoa.
And I really, really like this in the context of illusion, where it's like, in a way, Jesus was an illusion, a mirror, a reflection of this vibrationless state of being of the Father.
Oh my God, bro.
And so it's hilarious that people
Wow.
fight over defining the illusion. Why does that matter? It doesn't at all.
Doesn't at all, yeah.
Like, what service does it do to be accurate about describing something that isn't real? Well, isn't fully real. And it's not to say that Jesus didn't exist, or he wasn't a man, or didn't have flesh, or that he wasn't God made in flesh. But it's like, to fight over it and to actually kill people over differences in understanding the illusion just means you're asleep.
Yeah.
It just means you're so asleep. You didn't break through yet.
Yeah. And actually, it's super funny because I observed when I'm in environments where people are super high frequency. Sometimes also, especially with K, you can observe this very well.
With ketamine.
Yeah, that people know that they play a role. They know they play a role right now.
Yeah.
So you you are in this state of unity consciousness, full control over body, mind, spirit. And then what you do is, okay, how can I use this holographic
Mm-hmm.
avatar here to best make love to myself that is
Yeah.
hidden in all these different forms.
Beautiful. Beautiful, brother.
But you play this game then consciously.
No job, Abby.
And when you play it consciously, you're awake. You become
Right.
awake.
No.
And that's what children do. They play all the time. I'm today a
Yeah.
king, then I'm a warrior, then I'm a knight,
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
I'm a fairy, you know. They play it consciously all the time. That's why they are closer to the kingdom of heaven
Uh-huh.
than people that are serious and stuck in their own
Totally.
model of who they think they are, but it's not real.
And a love of a child flows freely. So freely.
Oh yes.
So freely. No limits, no boundaries, just flows.
Yeah.
It's been a nice journey, brother. We should go on walks like this more often.
Absolutely. Daily morning sangha
Sangha
session with Yana Yoga, Wisdom Yoga,
Love you, brother.
directly to the holy show.
You're the man, look at him.
You're the man, John Das.
Thanks for being born, brother.
Thanks for being a king for us. Love you, Lon. Thanks for sharing your cues, girl. We cleanse in the river.
Yes.
Cleanse in our hearts. You prune me with your words. I prune you with my heart.
Yes. It's like programming each other.
My music, my raps,
Yeah.
deep into your brain. Your mantras, your words, straight inside this cage. Honestly, bro, I would not be here. I would not have broke through if it wasn't for you. You gave me so many keys, dude. It's crazy.
You too.
Hey, yo, but real
It's a
talk.
symbiosis. I really want to walk this with you, and I know it will take a lot of work on both sides. You know, we will have our friction time,
Of course, bro.
but you are another me, and I will never forget that. And until that, I had this as intention today. So all my relations just send the divine love.
Yeah.
That's all we can do. Maybe we sometimes have to be apart from each other for a while,
Yeah.
but the bigger picture, we always know we're both Muslims. We're both servants of God.
Both submitted.
You know, submitted.
Both submitted. Do you wanna convert to Islam with me, bro?
I would have to think further of the consequences of that, but
Yeah.
if it just means what you shared with
Just
me,
share the two prayers.
then it seems nice.
It
It's
seems
very
nice.
cool.
Then we can go to Mecca.
Yeah, that would be the coolest thing ever.
Come on, bro.
Mecca.
Let's go.
We can rebuild Mecca, but in
In our
big.
hearts.
Yeah.
Do you want to make some San Pedro with me?